Good morning, Laguna Woods. Thank you for tuning in today. I know that it's early in the morning, it's a new day. You have challenges, you have things you need to do, but I appreciate that you tuned in to start your day off with another verse from the Bible today, and that's what we'll be doing. And our prayer is that you find it encouraging and helpful and motivational and inspirational. My name is Rick Bradford. I'm the pastor at Saddleback Church of Laguna Woods. But if you've been tuning in, we mean this show for literally all the people of Laguna Woods, whether you're a Christian or not. If you're still on your faith journey and thinking about Christianity, this might be a great show just for you to give it some thought and learn firsthand what some of the things are that are happening right in your community. So the way this show progresses, we're talking about one verse per day. And we've talked about some good ones. And we have another verse for today. But right before we even get to that, I'd like you to introduce Frankie Zumba. No.
Zumbro.
Zumbro. Oh.
Dumbo the elephant. Zumbro.
I'm going to be working on that in my sleep tonight, I think. But anyway, I so appreciate you joining us this whole week, and it's been a good week. Let me just give you the verse for today. It's actually the second half. We're going to talk about the second half of the verse that we introduced yesterday, and it comes from Matthew chapter 22 at verse 37. And what had happened is Jesus was asked by a person that he had been talking to. He said, "Hey, Jesus, what's the most important commandment in the whole Bible?" And here's what Jesus said. He said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself." Now, both of those are a challenge. We talked about the first yesterday. And by the way, you said that the first half of this is from Deuteronomy.
Yes, 6, 4, and 5.
And what do the our Jewish friends call that?
The Shema. And it is said in temple every Sabbath. The Lord your God.
And you know, because I believe you said that your identical twin sister is Jewish.
Yes.
That really gives you good insight into both faiths, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But today we want to move on because Jesus said there's two parts of what's the most important. Love God, yes. But how you do it here right now is love your neighbor as yourself. And we all are pretty good with ourselves, so that's a pretty high standard.
Yes.
How comment on that? Is that something, how do you approach this verse?
See, the verse reminds me of Leviticus 19:18 because actually everything Jesus said came from the Old Testament.
He quotes the Old Testament all the time.
Exactly. So in Leviticus 19:18, it says, "Love your neighbor." How? Who is my neighbor? In Laguna Woods, just in my building this week, one of our gentlemen, Roger, took another gentleman who's in a wheelchair and he can no longer go fishing. He took him fishing.
No way.
To me, that's loving your neighbor.
I love it.
I did too. We have somebody in my small group that takes a neighbor to the doctor every single week.
Well, that truly is. That is one of the best examples that you could ever give. And I see those same things too, all the time, and it encourages my heart. How about you? I know that you're involved with. Well, you talked earlier in the week about the ministry Grief Share, but are there other ways that you're in an organizational way loving your neighbor?
We have through Saddleback a food pantry.
Yes.
And most of my small group works the food pantry.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a once a month. It's on the fourth Wednesday of the month. for those of you who, if there's any way, well, who actually is eligible to come, and tell how that works.
I believe anybody's welcome to come,
They are.
and that people come to have their pantries replenished. It's expensive to
It
live in
is.
California, and a lot of people are on a very tight budget. We try to help those who are in need and provide a place for them to come to select the kind of food that they
That,
want.
Frankie, that's one of the differences between our food pantry and some of the other options that are out there, and that's the shopping aspect,
Yes.
because everybody gets to go through and they select their own groceries. We have a personal shopper who goes around. Am I saying this right? Because you're actually more involved with it than I am. But I love our pantry, and and there's one other thing about our pantry, and I think you would agree with it. We treat everyone with respect. This should not be embarrassing to have a need that we can help meet.
True. And it's important for people to feel that they have a safe place to go
Yes.
without being judged or embarrassed.
Yeah. If you need any information, go or email us at this email that's on the bottom of the screen, and we will be glad to send you that information. So you've mentioned one of the things with the church, because the church itself, we as a group also want to love our neighbors and be a blessing right here in Laguna Woods. And certainly your ministry does that. The food pantry does that. You were also mentioning, didn't you say that your small group is important
Oh,
to
very
you?
much so. We meet weekly. We have a short Bible study, and then we have a meal together, and we all divvy up who brings the meal, who brings the dessert. And it's a great time of laughter and of study. And then because we've grown so, when we get into prayer, we divide into smaller groups. So,
Well, how many people attend your group?
well, we've split once already. We had 16 and we just got too large. We were meeting
Wow.
in my little place, and so we ended up in our downstairs in
Yeah,
our
yeah.
basement. And now we're back at 16, but nobody wants to start another group. And so, it's been a good experience.
Well, that when you say it like that, I love it, because people, I know that the general feeling out there is a lot of times that people think, well, Christians are boring and stuff. No, do you hear what she's saying? They have so much fun
We
at
do.
theirs that it keeps growing.
But we also help one another.
I know you do.
We pray and we're concerned for one
And
another.
who doesn't need individuals praying for them? Well, here's
Exactly.
what I'm pretty sure you might not know is that right now we are running approximately 80 of these small groups in homes throughout Laguna Woods. So I just say to everyone that if this is of at all interest to you, again, email us and let us help you find. We'd love, you don't have to attend our church. We'd love you to attend a small group. They used to be called like home studies or something. We call them small groups right now, but there's one right in your neighborhood that we would love to point you to. And they are very popular,
Yes.
and people enjoy them. I enjoy mine. We're in a small group. I've been in a small group for probably 40 years.
Wow.
Well, Frankie, thank you for joining me both today and this week. And remember, Laguna Woods, you matter to God, and you matter to us at Saddleback Church, Laguna Woods.